The story with Shedeur Sanders, normally a fifth-round draft pick, gets caught for speeding, probably not going to make headlines, not going to make SportsCenter, but this is Shedeur Sanders, high profile. Also factor in that you're a quarterback. You already have a target on your back. You slipped in the draft, and all of a sudden, you're driving at 101 miles an hour just past midnight in a 60-mile-an-hour zone. Why? Because this is a decision that you made. You can be in a car accident. You chose to go 100 miles an hour. You had already had a previous citation, I think, a month earlier for speeding. At this position, as a quarterback, and you're with an organization that went all out and brought in Deshaun Watson, like the last thing that you should be involved in, somebody's concerned about is you off the field. And now you have that. You already are walking in and you're behind because you were the fifth-round draft. Why did you fall? You don't need extra attention. If anything, you want just football-related attention. Don't bring any of this attention to you because it doesn't reflect well on somebody that you say, as an organization, he might be our next quarterback. And I've only talked about him as a football player. And somebody who works with the Browns is a friend of mine. And said by all accounts, he handles himself as a mature player. He knows his place. He's a rookie, but he has some maturity there. Well, he should. He grew up in this culture. He knows what it's like where everything is parsed, when we're looking at what you're saying and how you're acting, everything. And we heard the pre-draft reports. Well, rumors, and then they became reports. Just play football. That's all. And you can start in the NFL. I truly believe he can. My friend with the Browns says he can be a starting quarterback. You just don't want the media to have an excuse, to have moments like this. Be a professional. Act like a professional. This is twice in the last month. 100 miles an hour. If you're a backup linebacker, a fifth-round pick, they may have already cut you. You got an opportunity. You got an opportunity to prove all the doubters wrong. Right now, the doubters are right. You got to show maturity. You didn't act that way during the pre-draft. You didn't act that way during interviews. You get to camp. When you get on the football field, you know what you're doing. But when you're the quarterback of a franchise in the NFL, you're the face of the franchise. He has not shown what he needs to show to be that. And that would be concerning. Now, it might be, it's just speeding. Okay. And then it was speeding before. Okay. At what point do you say, you know what? This is habit forming. This isn't a coincidence. You going 100 miles an hour also impacts other people who might be on the highway then. And you got lucky that they give you a citation for $250. Chalk it up. You can't. That position, you can't. You're treated differently. We treat our quarterbacks, our starting quarterbacks, differently in the NFL. But he was going 91 and a 65, and then he was going 101 and a 60. And this is in a span of 12 days. Yes, Eden.
It's weird because part of me is like, it's a speeding ticket. What are we freaking out about? Dude got a speeding ticket.
For most people, it's a speeding ticket.
Right. Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah, for most people, it's a speeding ticket. Yeah, like if... But you start looking, Jameis Winston got a pretty bad speeding ticket too, but that becomes part of a pattern of poor decisions, yes. Right? That you're looking at. If it's Kirk Cousins or somebody who doesn't, if Russell Wilson gets a speeding ticket, you're like, look at Russ being a wild man, huh? Yeah. Look at him speeding. It's almost like a good thing where you're like, look at.
In a span of 12 days, you get 2 speeding tickets. One's for 91 miles an hour, one's for 101. It's just different. You're treated differently, and, people react differently. But if you're Shedeur Sanders, just play football. Have somebody else drive you. Have somebody else, or you can drive. How about you go 64 miles an hour? Don't even go the speed limit. Go 64 miles an hour. Because maybe you're going to turn into be a really good football player.